Hey everybody, Dave Clark, aka the Pattern Guy. Hey, got a real ambitious day today. We're gonna combine the chalk talk kind of, just regular thing today. Lots of stuff to do. See how much we get done. Like I said, I probably shouldn't be this ambitious. Here's a couple projects we got working on. I don't know if you can remember this little, I called it a prototype, little Y pipe. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you how to do this today. I gotta make a mold off of this, all right? So what we decided to do is we're going to not use a core in this because it took me 5 minutes to make one core. So we're not gonna do this like this. So the guy I'm doing this for, he kind of said, well, how about if we do them solid and then he'll drill them out. So we're gonna try that. Down the road, one of the things I want to get into is I want to try to get into the lost wax process here, so I'm gathering some information about that right now, and these would be like primo to do this because this is going to be high volume job here, and then if he doesn't have to drill them out, it'd be all that much better. So anyhow, what I'm going to do is usually I'm going to make a mold off of this with repro, okay? But usually what we're going to do is I usually just make one mold. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make the frame a little bit larger, and then I'm going to section it off, and I'm going to try to make 3 cavities for this mold. And the reason I'm going to do that is because we're going to do, I want to try to put 32 of these on a board. That's ambitious too. The more you put on, the more likely you're going to have like mismatches and that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to make a 3-piece cavity and mold on this thing. Like I said, that's kind of ambitious, but it's what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to do 3 different pours, so it's not gonna be, they call it monolithic pour. So you're gonna have like little parts where they're not stuck together really well. I'll drill some holes into one side, but what I'm gonna do with this, I'm just making a mold to make patterns off of it. So hopefully we'll use that mold 10 times, okay? So it's not gonna be a big deal. If it was gonna be like a core box where we're gonna be making hundreds or thousands of cores, I would do a monolithic pour, okay? I'm just gonna do this. So I'm gonna get together with you guys. I got this, I got the other half too, I gotta put on here also. And then what we'll do is I'll show you how I make a frame up, and then I'll show you how to start, pouring a mold for these, okay? Then the other project I got going on, I'm still working on this. Like I said, this is going to be a long project, okay? I thought I was going to be getting onto the cores with this. Jesse didn't have drawings, excuse me. Jesse didn't have drawings for the sizes of the ports. Like I said in the one video, it's very important, the sizes of the ports and that. So he was looking around for drawings, but he actually found the correct drawing for this after all of what we went through, changing things and kind of so here's the correct drawing right there, okay? So in looking at this, talking to him, up in here it's rounded in that, and actually I need a little bit more. This needs to be open a little bit more. So I only have a 1/2 inch wall thickness underneath here. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm the kind of guy too that, he said basically just leave it and we'll work. I'm not gonna do that. I can't do that kind of stuff. And especially for the customer, he wants to make this thing as authentic looking as he can. And that's the way I would rather do things too. So it's, I've got this almost done. So you gotta weigh out, like I gotta change things in here if I leave it as is, okay? So is that gonna take me more time to figure out, how to change this, or I'm just gonna hack this off the top here and just make this all new again, all right? So that's one of the things you have to weigh out. And then, like I said, plus for me, it's an aesthetic thing. I want this thing to look exactly like the locomotive's supposed to look. So what I'm gonna do, I decided I'm gonna hack this off, this top part off here, and I'm gonna redo this top. It's gonna come out a little bit more, and then there's gonna be like a big radius in here. I'll do this, we'll chalk talk it, right? So like I say, I'm not the best artist, but here's where the saddle sits, all right, and it's looking like this right now, okay? And then I'm just coming down here square, and then, you know, to the cylinders, okay? So we'll just do one side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this off here, and I'm gonna bring this out here, and I'm gonna put a big radius in here, all right? So that way, like I got my pocket like this right now, right? Then, like I said, that's a little too small, so I want to get it bigger. And like I said, it's going to create some problems later for me. It's going to, you know, make things I got to do later more difficult, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put this big radius and then bring this out where I can make that pocket a little bit bigger. That way it'll look like the real locomotive and that. So we're going to do it like that, I think. Like I said, I'm going to try to, I got to pour some plastics and that, so I'm going to try to work on two things at one time here. We'll see how that goes, all right? We'll see how far we get today too. All right, another thing real quick, all right? Like I said, I didn't know exactly what was inside here for sure because I had those plugs on, okay? So one of the things is there's some, you know, let's do this again here. All right, keep on forgetting we got the chalk talk thing here going. All right, so looking at the cylinder sideways inside, okay, it goes something like this. All right, this is a core print here. All right, that's your core here. The cylinder body comes out like this. All right, make this up a little bit longer. All right, so that's a cylinder. All right, so this is what this looks inside here. Okay, that's what this looks like. There's a little bit more to it too. But what it is you know, how do I measure where these are? How do I measure the depth on here, okay? Several ways you can do it. A lot of like machinists still have rulers. I cannot find mine to save my life. I got a hook on the end of my ruler. You can put in there, hook it, and do that. My verniers won't fit in there. They've got dial calipers. I don't have any of those. Those are big in the foundry too, so you can do quick checks of wall thicknesses and that. All right, so one of the things I always do, you know, since we're pattern makers, we kind of do neat stuff, right? So what I did was I ended up getting a piece of mahogany. I rough cut it out, okay? And then what I did was I greased it up in there, and then I put some Bondo on here and squished the Bondo on there. When it hardened, pop it out, and I got all my measurements right there, what it's got to be, okay? And like I said, this is a casting. This represents a casting, so this had to be measured in standard, and then we laid it out on our layout with 1/8 inch shrink, because we use 1/8 inch shrink for cast iron. Okay, that's what this is. All right, so that's one way you can do this. All right, you know, I got my depth, you know, on here. I got my depths of that, and then I got my widths. So like I took all my measurements off. So we should be exactly like what that casting is like right in there, okay? So that's one way you can do that thing. I'm not going to be getting onto any cores today. Like I said, I'm going to try to hack this off today and start working on this thing, all right? And then, like I said, I got to start working on that little Y pipe there too. So let me get going on that, and I'll come back and get you in a bit, all right? We'll talk to you in a minute. Okay, guys, I got a mold ready here for this Y pipe. Okay, here's the mold. All right, this piece right here, I just made a frame. All right, I want to make a 6 cavity mold. So what I'm going to do is this piece right here is going to be able to move as I'm going along. Okay, this is I've done it a couple times, but this is something where you know, I'm trying something a little different. But here, I don't know if you can see, I got holes drilled in the side. That's going to hold the plastic. Okay, so I'm going to use Repro 83. It's what I always use. All right, a couple things with that. Like I say, I get nothing from Freeman. Okay, there's 2 different kinds of releases that we use. Okay, there's a Freeman Wax Release. This, take a paintbrush, paint it on. Okay, a lot of times too, what you can do is we take like a piece of toilet paper and kind of buff it out, you know. And that for smaller, more intricate parts, we use this Isocoat 531. All right, so some guys too, you know, you could use Minwax in that, but the thing is, their release is kind of formulated to their plastics, so it actually works a little bit better. Okay, so with the Repro, every time you use it, it settles to the bottom. You know, I'm not a big plastics person in that, but obviously there's different chemicals in here, right? Some of it's settling to the bottom. So what I did at Arrow, we had a double shaker. You know, if you got one of those, I think at Harbor Freight, they got a little air shaker, you know. I just went to I believe it was like the Depot, bought one of these plastic or rubberized mixers. Okay, that's all I use. So you got to mix it up every time. All right. Okay, now what I do here, I'll usually run this back and forth a couple times on here. All right, so this is an old soup container from like Chinese food or whatever we did. All right, I buy lacquer thinner by the 5-gallon pail because we use it for the kin coat, like all the paints in here. It can't put it in here, but what I do is I clean this towel, you know, because I gotta mix the part B here. It's part A, part B. All right, I don't want to mix that with, you know, hardener or resin. You don't want to stick either one in the other container, otherwise you're gonna start hardening. Okay, and then I just take an air hose. All right, that's how I do that, and then I'll mix up the part B. Okay, clean my mixer off here. Okay. Now, what you do with this stuff here is this is 50-50 weight or volume, okay? So I always, Freeman wants you to use cardboard or paper containers to mix. They say it keeps the moisture. The Repro 83 is not as bad, you know, this stuff's pretty forgiving. If you don't get it 100% 50-50, this stuff will harden, it'll stay hard. You know, this stuff's really, really good. There's a 1060, I use a 1060, it's, you know, 10 parts to 6 parts hardener. That stuff, you gotta be pretty close with that stuff, okay? That stuff I do use paper containers because that's way more moisture. You know, moisture will bother that way more than this. This is not as bad, okay? That's why I don't like you using plastic cups. But these things, I cook a lot. This is you know, some chicken based stuff. I have tons of these things. I collect, you know, plastic containers. My buddies get them for me. Oh, you know, to mix with this stuff. A lot of times what you can do, you can go to, we actually have a paper company around here. It's like craft paper kind of thing, and they got all different kinds of stuff. So they have different size paper cups in there. They got like paper coffee cups, all the different sizes, so you can do those. I actually do have some of those for when I do the 1060. Then there's also like they got some popcorn containers there too. We do that. Freeman does sell those. They are expensive there. Okay, so what I did with this, I put 2 marks on here, 3/8 of an inch and then 3/4 of an inch. Okay, I can see on the inside. Usually I use gloves when I do this. You know, with COVID thing, gloves just went downhill. I haven't bought any for quite a while, so I don't have any right now. So all you do is just, you know, you pour a little bit of this. All right, there's to my line, and then we'll get this to the line here. That's good there. And then I'll get a paper towel and wipe these off. Okay, just take a wooden stick. Okay, we're a wood shop, so we can stir this up, right? Okay, and then all you do is just pour it in there. Okay, and then you just gotta be careful. You'll get to you just don't want to pour it in real quick. Okay, you'll get used to doing it after a while. You know, you don't want air bubbles in there for one thing. The Repro 83 is not huge on air bubbles, but what happens a lot of times, like if you pour it too fast, and this stuff too, the edge time or the pot life, I guess you'd call it, right? The pot life for this stuff, it's, I don't know, about 3 to 5 minutes maybe, somewhere. Okay, I've never noticed like a humidity, you know, difference or anything. All right, so I got a little bit, I'll just break that out. That's the other reason why I use plastic too. I can break that out, reuse that container. All right, so since I did this stuff without gloves, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna wash my hands, because like I say, it's just be on the safe side there. Okay, so I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go wash my hands. Hang tight. All right, I took this piece off, just cut it off on the bandsaw. Okay, now the only problem I have right now is, if you can see, I can't sand this on the sander, right? Because I got these humps in the way, part of the cylinder, right? So how do I get this parallel? This here has to be perfectly parallel to the parting, okay? So parting down there, okay? So same thing, all right? Just got, haven't got any of the metal ones done yet, but here's the, for right now, all I'm going to do is use one of the rubber ones. I think I forgot to mention when I did this the other day too, you're not taking 3/4 of an inch off doing this, okay? You're only taking a, you know, I mean, I wouldn't want to take more than 1/8 of an inch off of this stuff, especially not at one time. You're going to take a few thousandths at a time, basically, okay? So, you know, you got to get it close, you know, and this is just to fine tune and to make it perfectly parallel, okay? So all you do is, all I do is I get it set up a little bit. We go plug the drill press in, hang on a sec. Okay, sorry about that. That's one of the things. Most all the machines in here, I can just go turn them on. This one, and honestly, spindle sander, you got to plug in and out. So got to make sure I don't bump into the tops of those cylinders too, right? Alright, smack it down a little bit more. Alright, now why I do it, I go over it several times because, like I said, that flexes, so you're not going to get it perfect, you know. So right now, this surface here is perfectly parallel with the parting. Alright, now next thing I got to do is I got to build that back up again, okay? So what I said, I got to put a big radius on there, so I'm going to get a block in between that big curve block. I'll show you that when I get it done, alright? Hang tight. Okay guys, I got this intermediate piece done, okay? See, it looks way better with this nice sweep in there, right? So I made this also. This I spot glued on a couple minutes ago. I'm going to spot glue this on here again, and then once it sets for a little bit, then I'm going to put some clamps on it. Okay, now this one I'm not too worried about glue in the middle too much, because if you remember, we're going to cut this out. I got to cut this pocket in there again. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go, I'm going to do it on the mill. That's the easiest way for me to do it. I actually got a little machine job I'm doing up there right now too, but we'll be done with that, I think, when this is ready to go here. So I'll just line her up on my center lines. That's why you got center lines all the way around. Alright, line her up on all the center lines, make sure they're all good. Oops, missing that one there. This one's out a little bit actually. So, okay. Technically, if you get them on 3, you should be good there. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit for a minute, about 10 minutes, and I'm going to clamp it up, okay? I'm going to take it back over and see where we're at with the plastic, alright? Hang tight. Okay guys, I got one set of cavities done with this, alright? Now I'm going to move it over and do another set, okay? So I got this greased already. I'm going to move this over. I'm going to put this little divider in here. Alright, and then we're going to pour another set of these, alright? I already have, you only need to mix this once, like every few days, like, you know, all day. I could use this all day after I just mixed it. You might need to take a, what do you call it, stir stick, wood stir stick. If you want that. Actually what I did right before I opened them, I just gave them a little shake. They're ready to go. Okay, put another, it's really important. Oh, I was telling you, alright, with that thought in my head, okay, when you wax these, okay, when you wax these up, do the very least, do 3 coats of wax, sometimes 4, I'll do 4 a lot of times too, okay? A lot of times what I'll do is I'll do 2 coats of the brush on wax, you know, buff it out, and then I'll spray it twice, okay? You gotta do it multiple times. If you just do it one time, you don't know if you got every single spot, and you just need one little tiny spot, and it's stuck, you know? So I put 4 coats of this on the last mold. We demolded it, it popped right out. Alright, I just sprayed it real quick again. You know, it should pop out again. And then the last time I'll just do 1, okay, just 1 after. Alright, I got my container here still. The same one. See, it's nice and clean. The stuff just popped out. That's why I like using the plastics. Okay, I can still see my marks in there. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing again. Get it going. And then stir stick. You use the same stir stick if you want. No big deal, you know. Try not to waste as little as you can. Okay, you use the other end. I'm going to use the other end real quick. Give it a quick stir. Scrape the sides. This one, like I said, Repro 83, it's pretty forgiving. Alright, when you do, if you get into the other like 1060, that's like it's not as forgiving, okay? Like I said, you should do it in cardboard or paper cups. The other thing with that, what I do, I'll stir it and then I get another cup and I'll stir what I stirred into that cup. That way there's nothing, you know, that stuff isn't as forgiving as this stuff here. So that one you gotta stir it twice kind of deal. And that stuff's, you know, same thing. You probably got like about I don't know, 3 to 5 minute pot life with this. For the guys that don't know what the pot life is, like I said, we're trying to gear this towards younger guys more. Pot life is from when I mix it up to when it gets where I can't pour it anymore. Okay, it's not when it hardens. Okay, so I got about 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes to pour. And then once it's poured, this is going to take, like I said, it's going to take about an hour for it to harden, all right? So there's the second set of cavities we got. So I'm going to let that sit for an hour. I'm going to go clamp that up, and then we'll see what's going past there. It's starting to get late in the afternoon here. I don't know if I'll get back with you. I tell you what we'll do. We'll just sign off right now. I'm kind of at a stopping point, so we'll sign off for right now. Sunday, hopefully, I got to get up to the foundry. I'm getting so far behind. That rib thing really killed me. I got so far behind with that. Actually, today I was going to go up to the foundry. It's pouring outside, so I called Dean up. He said there's, you know, water all over the floor up there, so I don't want to, you know, chance anything up there. So anyhow, there's a little bit more on that cylinders. For sure, next time we start working on the cylinders, we'll get into starting the core boxes, all right? And I'll show you how to do the split turning again. And then, you know, hopefully Sunday I'll take you guys up to the foundry, all right? Everybody have a good one out there. Take care. And please subscribe if you haven't. Thanks. Here we go. Day after work here. Another day after work, I should say. Just sitting on the front porch waiting for a thunderstorm to come in, hopefully. We'll see how that goes. Got a pretty good view out west, so see it coming in shortly, hopefully. But anyhow, yep, here they go. After a good day of working, we're just chilling. That's the boys. Worked hard all day, just chilling.